All right, so we got the question and answer session going right now. Nico is then going to go ahead and then let me know about any other additional questions. But we hit one question that someone got to me probably on. So go now. This is on passing the knee shield with the gi. And you can do a variation of this too, no gi, but we're just going to go over the gi variant here. So my partner just go over things. He has the knee shield in. Now, if his knee actually points out this way, so basically if his heel goes above his knee line, it's easy for me to smash. So especially if you're at the white belt, blue belt, starting out, even if you play your knee shield low, just make sure though that your ankle stays below your knee. Because now I can just kind of his shin actually acts like a ledge. Yeah. But if he does it this way, it's pretty easy then for me to actually collapse. So let's go over a knee shield happening right here. So the camera person get away this side here. I'm always gonna try to get my knee down if possible, keeping my feet on the opposite side. Here is the problem though. If he pulls his knee in, pull it in. Exactly. Now you see how he starts to manipulate my weight. He can get the underhook, he can go deep half guard, sweep me, whatever. So we're gonna go back here. If I'm ever feeling like he's too tricky here, or this knee shield is just hard to pass, I have to get the elbow in, wedged in at his hip line. But the problem is though, we're here, he's pushing me away. I cannot just get the elbow in because it becomes a fight. So what we do is the following. Keep the knee here, always here. I'm gonna step this foot right back out. This hand right here, it goes to his knee, but I'm taking the scooping grip type action here. This hand right here, depending on the things, you can either do one or two things. My hand can either go here, or my hand can just cup at his hip line. But either way, so get right here then. We're here, I'm gonna cup right here, now watch. This foot now comes in one, and then I open this knee into his opposing hip. So we go from here. 1, 2, and if you look, he's coming up here now. So we actually really do this again. So we're here, now watch. 1, 2, and now my elbow slips over. You watch this? So again, as I'm coming up here, 1, 2, open the elbow comes in, and now I'm on the hip line. So now as he tries to actually get this back in, go back ahead, it's pretty hard here. Your passing options, you have two. The first one is I grab a hold of his elbow, my knee, just move your arm now, my knee has to go to his hip line now. So from here, I point my toes, and I push my hip forward, and I drop down this way. Okay? We drop this way. In fact, John Thomas has a really good explanation on this, but I do not want to just go forward. Because let's say if I'm already here, we're here. If I just go forward, the problem is he can then come right behind me and come right up. So no matter what, I have to keep weight on his hips. This way he can't actually be able to do this. So we're here again. Again, we step in, our knee goes, and then we're pushing. So look, special emphasis too on, it may be hard, for instance, for me to get a scooping grip here. That's fine. As I come in here one, and as I open this knee, watch how my knee helps to rise up right here. Now watch, I'm pushing his legs through just to get the elbow. Now once this is in, we're in basically a split squat type position here. This gives me my passing options. Yeah. So if we run it this way, this knee has got to actually fit here. So one, now look, I'm extending it back here because now it lets me just fall directly on his hips. So because of that, he can't actually get access to me. Okay? That's option one. Option two, Again, let's say we're already here, we've already beat him in here. Let's say if I just do not feel like I'm comfortable right here trying to actually pass here. Okay? What we do is the following then. This knee is then going to point out this way. This leg is then will then beat him here. So this is what we're doing here. So just keep your arm down. We're going to go 1, 2, switching out right here to 3. So with him actually having his frames in here. So we're here. Let's say if I just do not feel comfortable here. That's fine. So instead of my knee being there, it goes here 1. We lean just a little bit, just so my foot, I'm pointing my toes like a ballet dancer, in to come in here. Now my hand goes C-clamp right here. Now we back out. We back out with the angle. I can even put the left knee down if I actually have to here. Now it's a game, so I'm gonna grab a hold of his hip line first. Now, there's a couple of trains of thought here, and I'm just gonna give you both. We're right now within the classic leg on shoulder pass, but let me give you two variants. The first one, if I grab a hold of his hip line, what I don't want to do is this. I just don't want to just look away. Some guys are just slick enough to where, as I look away and his leg comes down, he'll start actually stripping out, etc. I have people that actually lose this here. Whenever the leg on shoulder position is gotten, I want his knee to go towards his nose. So when we're here, even if I'm here, that's fine. Let's say like this knee's down, right knee's up here. My right knee goes into his opposite hip pocket, and now my left leg extends right here. Now I can actually circle walk, expand my chest, drop it down, and then we get that chest connection here. Sometimes you can just do that little throw by and pass people, but typically it's going to be if he's actually tired. I don't like relying on that. Just put them within discomfort here. So that's option 1. Option 2 is whenever we go to the shoulder. And personally, I'm only going to go to the shoulder these days at least if we have the gi. If it's no gi, I'll pretty much always go exclusively on the hip line. Now from here, we go thumb in. I'm not trying to actually get a collar show something. I'm going to do this. This is pretty weak here. And again, I'm on my knees right now just to be nice to my partner. But I want the thumb in, and I want the side of the bone of the wrist here right on his neck line. And again, same thing. Right knee then goes into like his rib line, except for now, my left knee can then come underneath his butt, and that makes him rise up. And if you look at his face right now, this is miserable. So if I expand right now, I'll pass it. Now, the reason why I do not do that in no gi, okay? Go ahead and actually get like time all around. So the reason why I do not do that one like no gi down, I don't have the ability to anchor. So this is one of those things that's a key difference right now between gi and like no gi, is the ability to anchor. So you hear a lot of people that love gi more than they love no gi. The main reason why, whether they realize it or not though, they're using the collar and the grips as a nice little anchor. So because of that, it gives you connection to the person, but it gives a little bit of wiggle room. So if we go here, the problem is, if I come even like right here, especially if we're sweating, I can just actually just come right off here. All right, or he can take his C-clamp grip right behind the elbow here. I don't know. Take this right here, and now push me down. See, and now he'll start actually throwing me by. Now, can I actually recover from it? Absolutely. But still, instead of us getting into like these problems here, if I ever get here, we clamp right here. Because now the elbow goes down, my knee goes pretty much right by the elbow right now. Now I can just come up right here. He cannot throw me by now. And my opposite knee again goes underneath his butt, and it's making him rise. Now, as I actually sprawl, the pass is pretty easy, and I put a lot of pressure on my partner. So whenever you do that particular pass, especially, again, if it's no gi, don't even actually grab hold of the shoulder. Just make sure that you actually grab hold of the hip line. And I want to. Especially, I don't want to throw by because look, I'm pushing his hips away. So if he just hits a reverse shrink right here, go ahead, he can get his guard right back in. And now I'm dealing with this problem. If you've ever dealt with people that have halfway decent guards or really flexible people, they do this all the time. It's literally because you're pushing their hips away. I don't want to push his hips away unless I want to go for his back. So strategically, I really want to land my weight on his hips and then expand up to his shoulders now. So that's why whenever we're here, look, watch how his hips right now, they're basically facing you guys. I'm making his hips now face up. So you can't do that. So now even as I pass, if you look, I'm falling on his hips. Now we cover the opposite side. Now I wind up covering then the opposing corner where his shoulders happen to make. The same general process goes for the guillotine. You have to land on a person's hips and then slide. Again, if you don't, you do like your throw by, it will work on some people, yeah. But then once you go up against people that actually have good active guards though, it becomes a pain though. So be real careful actually. All right? Any questions on so far?
Yeah, so we got Farbod. He says, can you review your side control pressure, the old school judo pin you covered in class? Okay. Do you suggest this for small size people? I can pin people, but they explode super hard and create space.
All right, so whenever you're gonna pin people, now we're gonna go into judo pinning 101. The same thing applies as well for wrestlers too. So wrestling and judo people, you pretty much get what I'm about to actually talk about. Let's keep it just within general principles here. If you're smaller especially, all right, there are two types of pressure. There's the active pressure, what I like calling active pressure. It's like a spike gun, and you're basically shooting spikes into like your partner. And I really want them to feel the pressure that way. So it's a more active pinning. And then there's also what I like to call just boulder pressure, where basically it's like a boulder's actually on top of you and you just cannot actually move. So let's go over both of them now. What you have to do, you have to get good at being able to do both. Because depending on who you're going to go up against, especially if they're younger, explosive, strong, whatever, then you have to actually actively switch back and forth. So I'm going to use you down here. So first one though, this is the one that most people actually know of, and it's that boulder pressure on. But let's go over one common thing here. People try to actually pin whenever they let their partner's spine remain straight. So we work within like a gym, so I love using this concept here, and that's bench press. Essentially, if he's within a bench press position here, even if you're smaller, you have the potential then to be able to push me away. So that's why sometimes you feel like you actually get one. So first thing I do, I'm not just trying to get a chest-to-chest connection here. That's part of it, but I get a chest-to-chest connection, but then I put a curve within my partner's spine. Because again, if you have ever bench pressed at all, you never actually bench press this way. Anybody that's one that really wants to argue me on that, please make an Instagram or a TikTok video with you actually putting on weight on a bar curve and then actually try to actually bench press it. We're all gonna basically laugh and you're going straight to the hospital then. So we're here, and what we're doing, as soon as I get here, this elbow right here goes in. I'm taking his head opposite way. Here. Now look, I'm passing my hands to. I've gotten away in general from me keeping the gable grip pin. You can, but I like to put maximum pressure on. So what we do here again, I'm pushing the elbow right down to his hip. My hand then, it crosses. So this hand crosses over like this hand. Here, now look, now we come right here. Now, from here, let me just kind of move here. My hip is now connected to his hip here. And if you look, I'm trying to be nice here because this is not comfortable here. But I'm not going to let either one of my knees go on the ground here. It looks like he can get a half guard. Go ahead and drop. can't. And what I'm doing too, yeah, I'm not facing here because whenever I put the forearm chest this way, the problem is he's taking my weight here, but it's like putting a heavy pillow on. I really want to turn at like a angle, okay? It's kind of like if you actually have a friend and we've actually had them where, you know, they'll hit us and then you go out because they're boning. I want to use the side to cut into his side here. So whenever we're here already, okay, we base out, and now my ribs are cutting to his ribs here. He can explode up as much as he actually wants to. I don't really care. And if you look at this leg right here too, as well, I will go back and forth between it being live or here. But no matter what, my knee is not allowed to touch the ground. If my knee touches the ground, he feels how the weight actually gets off here. I will use the instep or the ball of the foot to essentially help to cut my ribs, and you see right here what he's actually reacting to. This is without me doing all of the stuff with the hands here. So this is your first basic pen. And then let's go to the more classical one that a lot of BJJ people that they get obsessed with, or they do it wrong. From here, we will go to the scarf holder. So basically the Keza. I'm gonna do it right now underneath his shoulder. I'll anchor, pull the elbow in, grab a hold in of his tricep, and then as I pull, watch. My body does not move the upper body, only the legs do. 1, 2. And he feels right now how the ribs are actually cutting in. Now, putting my butt down now to be nice. As the person wants to explode out, remember this. If you're not within a judo match or a wrestling match, I don't get points for just keeping you here forever. Okay, I cannot win by like a pin. So because of that, switch back and forth always. In fact, if you look at the best wrestlers at judo people in terms of whenever they get a person on the ground controlling wise, they're switching back and forth between pins. So we're here. And if you're doing this right, my butt and my knees, they never touch the ground at all. And this is just bad here. It's pressure here. So this is that overwhelming, oh my God, claustrophobic, I cannot breathe type pen. So even whenever I was still competing back in BJJ, you know, blue belt years and all, I actually beat people this way too. Things like brown belt and judo then though. No, black belt then. So that's one. The second one though is the spiking pressure. So this is especially if there's a bigger size difference then. If so, that smothering pressure is not going to necessarily work out for you because there's just a size difference here. So let's go over what he needs here. He needs his shoulders to be able to touch the ground. Again, it's like bench press. The broader your shoulders are, when you can actually set your shoulders, it lets you drive up with power. So since I actually know that, I really, if possible, want to put a curve in. So if I'm smaller, I'll anchor myself however I actually have to. Okay? Now, if you look right here, he's already turning this way. Which means one thing. I don't try to hold him right here because especially if I'm smaller, just kind of come up and I'll kind of make myself small here. See, this is what actually happens right here. Let's go back. The reason why that happens is because that shoulder is allowed to actually come up. So I have this shoulder covered essentially. That shoulder is coming up. So if that shoulder is coming up, well, what do I actually have to do then? I really have to spike this shoulder down. So over here, he starts to come up good. I switch the weight here, and now he just come up again. Keep moving, good. And I'll have no problem keeping spiking and switching my hips at all points in time. But if you look, the shoulders right now on both sides are actually covered. It is making life difficult. And again, I'm always going to turn it up. I'm always going to be cognizant of where that far side shoulder is. Okay? Whenever we go into like this mode 2, remember, you're in controlling mode now. So what happens at times, people will get into these areas, they make it a scramble, and then maybe I can get an armbar from here. Strategic wise, it's not that wise because we're in scramble mode. Okay? I have to control him first, and once his level of energy in general goes down, that's when I'll do stuff like isolate out, inside arm, attack him. Because otherwise, it makes it a 50-50 proposition. Does that make sense? So, next one.
That's the only question we got so far.
Okay. Well, hell, Farbar, keep right on going then. And it better not be something as general as, well, how do you get into XR?
Or trying to
belt,
kill
you actually have that.
Still gotta get revenge on him. One day. One day.
He'll be back this year, so.
I know.
We got Laura, Rafael, Taylor Lance, Spider 2X, Farbod.
Yep.
Alright, so. We'll be about Spider, which is a position that I personally hate. So I have hot feels watching this. It's even funnier though. So, we're playing our Spider in general, okay? Remember this too. Whatever hand that I don't actually have a Spider hook on, because look, you could play your Spider guard here. But even if I'm here, I have no problem personally with him having an arm in here because I can always just push out and then just pull my knee in. This way you actually have controls here. So, one thing that I'm not a fan of though, whenever you're gonna make this transition though, I don't like having the arm on the inside. If you're gonna go up against white belts and blue belts, that's fine. Once you start going up against brown belts and black belts, here's like the problem. If he feels me go down right here, and then I start to actually kick up, if you look, he has a really good grip in his elbows down here. It lets him cut his knee over. If he's smart about it, exactly. And now he'll start actually reaching right back through, peeling this out, and now this is just bad. This is bad. So because of that, when you're playing your Spider, remember you already actually have like one hook in here. This right here is your distance maker. So I can play with him like this way. But whenever I'm gonna actually attack, my knee goes in just so I can strip this grip off. I'm not a fan of you trying to actually do what we are about to do and letting him keep a hold of like a grip. Again, if it's a person that doesn't really know, that's fine. But there's too many guys because again, I've got to train with too many Pan Am world champions and they'll just kill you this way. So all that said though, I'll push out, knee goes in. Now look, as I'm pulling my knees right back in, I'll pull out right here and this knee strips right here. Now, once this is down, I'm gonna put the foot that was on his hip line down, and then we do a one-legged bridge. As I do that, this leg is extended, and I'm pulling my arm up this way, and I'm looking at the wrist the whole time. So over here, now watch what happens. See how it makes him have to take a really big step here, and I'm on my hip. I can let go here, that's fine. We keep this grip though. Now, as my arm goes around his leg, rotate too. See here, and we put our initial hook in. Remember to keep your knee this side too. Okay, one knee is always going to be on one side. As we put the second hook in, the opposite knee is on this side here. Now, depending on what he does, we can make good. Depending on what he does, we can actually sweep him in a variety of ways here. Remember this too, whenever you're within the X guard, and this really goes for any position here, but let's just stick with the X guard only. He doesn't feel a threat here because look, my feet are here, so it's like, yeah, David, you're in the X guard. Not really. I've got to actually put pressure on him. So the instep right here on like this leg is then basically just pushing out towards the camera. The instep right here is pushing behind right here. Now there's pressure on, because you see how now I'm making him have to actually react to me. If I'm just loose right here, this means pretty much nothing. This is how a lot of people, how they actually start passing. Okay? Once I'm here too, and I'm just talking now, so unless I was gonna do overhead sweep, I'm not just gonna stick right here. I'm gonna be going back and forth between one hip, or if he comes right back up, opposite hip then. Because again, I'm always looking for some sort of off balance. So it doesn't matter if you're playing the XR right now and you want to keep the overhook, or if you would rather switch into the classical one. And if you ever want to switch into the classic though, from here, I'm gonna always say to, again, push your pressures on and extend your legs a little bit. This hand then grab the hold of his knee. Now this one comes out, we get inside the elbow to get right here. And now we have classic X guard. That's fine though. What I never want you to do is to be here and then just abandon it, because look, this hand, it really has to be doing something here. And then just go, oh, well, I'll just go here. There's too many guys where as soon as this actually happens, this hand goes in this foot, push it down, back step, or yeah, here.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So right here, if I just kind of just go out, push it down, back step, and then he's actually passing me. Okay? So because of that, whenever we're here, I'm putting these pressures on, I'll extend them out just a little bit because now it puts its weight away from me. Now we grab a hold. I'm not pulling his knee down. I just want to put a bend in so we can get the elbow in. And now we're here. Now we're within classic XR. Doesn't matter whatever you actually want to do sweep wise. All right, another one now.
Yeah, Roy Harmon. Should you grab your leg with a scarf? Old.
Yeah, we'll go right back now. If you go into the more classic one,
Yeah.
classic one is going to be whenever you actually have the head. So just get here. So let's go over the problem here again. If I'm right here, and I have the underhook here, both, then in general, in mind, I'm keeping my legs and my butt down just so I'm not putting pressure on, because he's going to complain about his ribs. So, but right here, his way out is for him to get his elbow to my hip. So if he actually walks out and he pulls the elbow right in, now he can actually start getting up. Because now there's no pressure on like this shoulder, so go back. So that's why whenever you want to go with this one, for instance, I'm pulling my hip to his armpit right here. But if we go right here, there's another anchor that you can actually get. Because again, his only way out really is right here. People will go, yeah, but you can throw like your feet up and all. Well, yeah, if I keep my head up like a moron, then yeah, he may be able to get like the leg over. In general, I basically shrug down. You're not getting your foot there. I don't care how great your rubber guard is. Even your foot's not gonna actually come here. All that mess said, get your knee to your wrist. So I pull up. Now we actually just come here. Now the great thing is here, and I'm putting my butt down again just to be nice. He has pressure now on his upper ribs, and this is hard to actually get out of here. Now from here, now watch. I'm not putting my toes on the mat. See, people will talk about digging your toes in. I'm not digging my toes in. It's just going to be the ball of the foot. Mainly the lower two here. We come right here. This is not going to be a pleasant experience. If I take this and then I pull his arm up to it as I'm struggling down to, great. I don't want to do this. I want to be right here because now this cuts my ribs into his ribs more. Okay, depending on how much he actually pressures, what will eventually happen is, I'm putting my butt down again to be nice. He'll realize using this hand pretty much worthless. Using the opposite leg too worthless. Then what he will typically do is he will then actually start to try to do something here. So whenever that happens, be ready on it. I'm just going to keep my butt down again just to actually be nice. But as he's moving his arm around, exactly, I'm going to then push. And now look where my hand is. My thumb's down right now. We'll make a switch. And now we can switch in position. And then that's how we go into stuff like this, like your classic arm triangles. So now if you watch a lot of judo players, I would specifically say look at more of your European players, because a lot of your Western ones, outside of Travis Stevens, Kayla Hare, etc., a lot of them, they're not that good on the ground. They just are not, unless they're coming from Jimmy Page, at least. They'll make these switches here and then that's how they go into these classic arm triangle positions. They will set it up typically from here. By going right here, people start to panic, and as their arm wants to just try to actually get out, cool, they'll make the switch, and now we're on right here. This is also a pin within judo too. So even if I don't actually have this right, this is still a pin. It doesn't matter. But this also is a classic choke as well. So should you actually switch out there? Yeah. You should. Just make sure that whenever you do that, your ribs have got to be cutting to his upper ribs. Basically, just pec line's right here. We're going to go right underneath that pec line right there. And we're actually pushing in.
All right. Leonid Berenstein? Stein? Either or. Sorry if I got it wrong. No-gi dogfight from half guard if top player loses underhook.
So, here's the biggest thing. Locking Giles actually has a good video on this. I'm just going to give you the highlights of it though. They actually teach it this way too. Here's the problem there. So I'll be in the dogfight. Get right here, half on. So, for those that don't know, dogfight essentially is whenever I'm going to come up right here too, but we're right here. Okay. Here's the problem with this. And Lachlan does a great explanation on it. If I'm right here, if the other person is taller, lankier, stronger, etc., this becomes too much of like a fight. Dogfight's a 50-50 prop here. Okay. You're here. Step your foot up, and now, as my cameraman actually pulls out, watch his posture. See that? Now I've not done crap here with the hands yet. I don't want to just be here trying to struggle right here. And I used to do this too now, so this is not me making fun of people here. Lachlan really just does a good explanation here. When we're here, step your foot up and then lean onto his hip. You then put him more onto his neck. From here, this hand right here, it just drops. Cause look, I'm sitting on my butt here. It just drops. Always get his ankle, knee picks right there. And then you pass however you actually want to. Now, dogfight, now you said if I lose the underhook now, so if I don't actually have it, let's say if he actually has the underhook, which is fine too. Again, as long as I'm here, I don't really care. This hand right here, I'm just gonna go to a wizard. So we go to wizard, step up, and now look, now I'm pushing back on his shoulder too. Typically now, from here, because his hand's right there, the other hand's right here, I'm gonna go to his neck now. Neck, right here. We'll fall down for the deal with each other now. Because again, he's preoccupied with trying to make sure I don't get an underhook. I'm cool actually with that. The problem is, for me though, if we're here, and again, this is the problem with the whole dogfight position period, we're in a 50-50 spot. Why? Because the weight's equally distributed on like both knees. For his knees and my knees. So that's why from here, I'll put that hand down. We will get the overhook here. We step up, and now push back here. It makes him have to put that hand there. If he takes that hand off, go right in, he falls there. So making him have to put weight there. But because he has the underhook right here, I'm not gonna worry about this sweep. I'm gonna go around toward the chin trap, and this knee comes into here. We pull in, fall back. And now we actually side clutch. And then again with the T-chops on. Does that make sense?
All right. Brent Valentine says, what happened?
I thought it was going to be Valentina for a second.
Oh, okay.
I got confused. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, no. If it was Valentina, I was about to go, no. Go ahead. We could go live. Do it.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, you good. Brent Valentine, what happens When he posts his leg at the same time, what's the next step?
So if he posts his leg, all right. So a few things. We'll do both of them here. If I have the underhook already, here, post him here, post that. If that actually happens right here, that's cool. I'm gonna keep walking around this way, and I'm pulling with this hand on his hip back this way, because at times I may be able to dump you right down here. If he starts to walk with me though, this lets me roll through. This lets me actually sweep now. So that's option one. If I have the overhook right here, or sorry, yeah, if we're already here, I stepped up and I have the overhook. He's right there. I'm still gonna do the same stroke. His neck's open. I've already got him
Too
here.
much pressure on my hips. I can't drive into you.
It's too much pressure because I actually have to be drive here. I'm driving into him and I'm pushing down. So I'm gonna go for his neck though. Like personally, if we're doing no-gi, if your neck actually comes out, I'm jumping on it then, always. Any more? So we'll go one more.
All right, Leona said thanks. No other questions so far.
All right, well, that's fine. And remember, from now on, every Wednesday will always be question and answer day though. Otherwise, we'll do a little bit more closed gi. Yeah, closed guard with the gi on Friday. And then Monday, we'll go back to do a more no-gi again. All right, so have fun. See you later.